Chapter 1. The Darling Children. In a cozy little house on a quiet street in London, there lived 3 delightful children, Wendy, John, and Michael Darling. Their nursery was filled with toys, books, and laughter. Every evening, after their mother tucked them into bed, Wendy told her brothers magical bedtime stories. Her favorite stories were about a daring boy named Peter Pan, the boy who could fly and who lived in a place where children never grew up, Neverland. John loved the pirate battles, Michael adored the fairies, and Wendy liked Peter best of all. But what they did not know was that Peter Pan was real. And he sometimes flew all the way to London to listen to Wendy's stories through the nursery window. Chapter 2. The Night Peter Came. One moonlit night, while the children were sleeping, a soft flutter was heard near the window. The curtains swayed, and in through the open window flew a boy, dressed in green leaves, with a tiny glowing light at his shoulder. It was Peter Pan, and beside him sparkled Tinker Bell, the cheeky little fairy. Peter whispered, "Shh, Tink, I'm just looking for my shadow. I lost it the last time I came here." He searched under the bed, behind the curtains, and finally found his shadow in the drawer. But when he tried to stick it back on with soap, it wouldn't work. Wendy woke up and gasped. "You're Peter Pan!" Peter grinned. "Yes, and I came to listen to your stories. Oh, Wendy, you must come with me to Neverland and tell stories to the Lost Boys." Chapter 3. Flying Lessons. Wendy woke her brothers. "John, Michael, Peter Pan is here. He's taking us to Neverland." John adjusted his glasses, and Michael rubbed his eyes. "How do we get there?" Peter laughed. "Why, you fly, of course." "But we can't fly," said Wendy. "Oh, yes, you can, with a little faith, trust, and pixie dust." Tinker Bell twinkled in the air and shook glittering dust over them. "Now," said Peter, "just think happy thoughts, like birthday cake, holidays, and your favorite games. And off you go." And suddenly, Wendy lifted into the air, followed by John and Michael. They floated, then soared higher and higher, out of the window, over the rooftops of London, past Big Ben and the shining River Thames, and straight into the night sky. "Second start to the right, and straight on till morning," Peter shouted. Chapter 4. Welcome to Neverland. When they finally reached Neverland, the children could hardly believe their eyes. The island sparkled with color and life. There were mermaids sunbathing on rocks, Indians riding swift horses, fairies glowing in the forest, and pirates sailing on a grand ship in the bay. "Welcome," said Peter proudly, "to my home, Neverland." He led them to a hidden underground house where the Lost Boys lived, children who had no parents and had forgotten their old lives. Wendy became like a big sister to them all. She told stories, sang lullabies, and mended their clothes. The boys adored her. But not everyone in Neverland was happy about Peter's return. Chapter 5. Captain Hook. Out on the sea, aboard a grand ship called the Jolly Roger, the wicked pirate Captain Hook stood glaring through his telescope. Hook was tall, dressed in a scarlet coat, and wore a hook instead of a hand, because Peter Pan had once cut it off in a sword fight and fed it to a hungry crocodile. That crocodile had loved the taste so much that it followed Hook everywhere, hoping for another bite. Thankfully, it had swallowed a ticking clock, so whenever it came near, Hook could hear the tick-tock, tick-tock and run away in terror. Hook swore revenge on Peter Pan. "I'll get that flying brat if it's the last thing I do," he shouted. Chapter 6. Adventures and Danger. The days in Neverland were filled with adventure. The children visited the Mermaid Lagoon, played games with the Lost Boys, and even met Tiger Lily, the brave princess of the island's tribe. One night, Peter rescued Tiger Lily from the pirates, who had captured her and tied her to a rock. Hook saw it all and grew even angrier. Soon after, Hook hatched a plan. He captured Wendy, John, Michael, and all the lost boys while Peter was away and took them to his ship. Chapter 7. The Battle on the Jolly Roger. Hook sneered, "Now, my little brats, you shall walk the plank." The children huddled together, but Wendy stood bravely. "You'll never win, Captain Hook. Peter will save us." Hook laughed, but just then a tick-tock echoed through the air. Hook trembled. "The crocodile!" he screamed. But it wasn't the crocodile this time. It was Peter Pan. He had come to rescue them. With a flash of his dagger and a cry of, "I'm youth! I'm joy! I'm a little bird that has broken out of the egg!" Peter flew into battle. The pirates swung their swords wildly, but Peter was too fast. The Lost Boys fought bravely too, and even John and Michael helped. In the chaos, the real crocodile climbed onto the ship, and Hook, screaming, fell into its open jaws with a final tick-tock, and that was the end of Captain Hook. Chapter 8. Time to go home. After the victory, Peter said, "Wendy, will you stay here and be our mother forever?" Wendy smiled sadly. "I'd love to, Peter, but I miss my real mother. She must be so worried." Peter looked down, his smile fading. "Mothers always ruin everything," he muttered. But he knew she was right, so he sprinkled them once more with fairy dust and flew them back to London. Mrs. Darling was waiting by the window, hoping her children would return. When she saw them flying in, she cried with joy and hugged them tightly. Wendy promised she would never forget Peter Pan, and Peter from the window watched them with a wistful smile. He whispered, "Goodbye, Wendy," and flew back to Neverland, forever the boy who wouldn't grow up. Moral of the story: Peter Pan teaches us that while growing up is inevitable, we should always keep a spark of childlike imagination, courage, and wonder inside us. Never stop believing in magic. It's what makes life truly exciting. Subscribe for more videos. It's free.